I'm like, that's how I remember it.
What's going on, Zoom? Hmm.
It's telling me this meeting is being live streamed.
Yeah,
Me
sometimes
too.
it takes my computer longer than it does to, yeah, because I'm
Because
looking
you're
at
in the
the
Japans.
web browser and we're look at the app is quicker. So yeah, we're live. All right, here we go. All right, welcome back everyone to Task, a podcast about HBO's new hit series starring Mark Ruffalo on HBO Max. My name is Axel. I'm here today with two amazing people, but before I introduce them, I do want to remind everyone you can go to dvrpodcast.com to find out about all of our shows. We're covering Alien Earth. We're doing an NFL show around the couch. We've done a ton of other shows that you can find out about. You can also become a patron at patreon.com/DVR. Thank you to all of our patrons, including those on the podcast today. And we have a new patron. His name is a name that I know and love, Billy. Billy is our newest patron. Billy, welcome. You have the same
Welcome,
name as
Billy.
me. Yep.
And Billy.
And, you know, my name, I say I'm Axel on the pod, but my real name is Billy. And one of the reasons why I'm called Axel is because I took that nickname because nobody wanted to call me Billy. Everybody wanted to call me Bill, which I hate. And whenever anyone calls me Bill, I'm always like, you didn't listen. You didn't listen to me.
You know what you need
You
to
don't
do,
really know
Axel?
me. That's why my
I
brother calls me Bill.
I think you assembled a task force just for that, so you could
Oh,
dig deep.
put
That's
up.
I
for
think
you,
I did.
Ando.
I think I did. Well, that voice you hear there, he was with us last week, of course. The man himself, Heath Santazzo, Heath Solo. How you doing, Heath?
I'm doing great, and I love. It's been way too long for our secret special guest that you're going to
Yeah.
introduce now. It's been way, way, way too long. I don't want to
Well,
say Yellow Jackets, but it's been a while
it's been a while
for me
since
anyway. For
maybe for
me.
you and for others too, making her return to the DVR Podcast Network airwaves. It hasn't been that long.
I know.
It's
We haven't talked since Too Close
she's
for
like, what?
Comfort.
Huh? It's Gina. Gina, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I'm very excited to talk about this show and
Yes.
I'm loving it so far. So
Well,
good.
hey, but you know what? There is something you are returning to that it has been a while, which is
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale. So we
Yes.
should mention that. Maybe talk a little bit about your Handmaid's Tale pod. Give yourself a plug before we start talk about Task.
So a cacophony of events transpired when The Handmaid's Tale's final season came out that kind of prevented me from podcasting about it in real time, travel, and then some issues I was having with my hands that are now slowly resolving. So just as I was ready to be like, yeah, let's get everything organized, um the whole my God, why can I not think of this guy's name?
You're thinking of
The,
Hans
the late
and
night
Christian
guy,
Oh, Jimmy
Anderson.
Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Right,
I
right.
was gonna say Jimmy Fallon. I'm like, that's not the right
I
Jimmy.
know. Too many Jimmys.
The whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel happened, and I actually did completely dump my Hulu and everything for about 5 days, and I re-upped
Now he's
yesterday, and I'm
back.
like, let's just get this going before more effery happens with this. But I did have a plan B, which I still might roll out after covering this last season of Handmaid's
Nice.
Tale, still using the Resisting Gilead moniker to perhaps discuss some other things that delve into First Amendment rights for journalism and freedom of speech. So we'll see, but that would
I
probably be
like
a
it.
2026 endeavor. So yeah,
Nice. I like
yeah.
it. All right. Well, we'll keep looking out for Resisting Gilead. And that was a fun last season of Handmaid's Tale. I think it'd be
Yeah,
fun to
it's
podcast
it's going to
about
be
it.
great, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It
was
moved quick. There was a lot of action. There was a lot of stuff happening, a lot of questions, moral stuff. So,
yeah.
as there was in this episode, which is episode 3 of Task entitled Nobody's Stronger Than Forgiveness. Great title. Directed by Sally Richardson Whitfield, who has directed a ton of stuff. did a bunch of episodes of a show called Stitchers, which I had never heard. It was like a kind of a sci-fi show, as well as a ton of episode. Did a couple episodes of a show called The Newsroom. 3 episodes she directed of The Newsroom. 77 episodes of Eureka. So a veteran television director. And right from the beginning, a lot of the stuff that we were talking about last week, Solo,
Mhm.
was kind of answered for us. And I love the way this show is rolling out. Like we talked about, it's like the plot is the mystery. And I love the way they're doing that. But before we totally dive in, Gina, what are your thoughts about the first couple episodes, this series in general? Anything you want to say about Task?
I do like the way that it's kind of very slowly opening the kimono on these characters and their lives and kind of the different connections, like just it's a nice slow rollout, like learning about how um the brother died. I think Billy, that's another
Billy,
Billy.
yeah,
Another
another
Billy.
Billy. Yep.
How he
Robbie's brother,
died.
Billy.
We knew he was dead. Then we kind of learned how he died. Then we have learned why. So I kind of like the gradual, like, let's just spill it all out, that we're doing with that. And it
Yeah.
definitely mirrors what happened in what's happening in the Brandis household as well. We knew his wife died. Well, we didn't. We knew his son was in prison for a
Right.
family altercation. Then we learned his wife died. Then we kind of learned how and why. And so I like the way it's like a slow roll, kind of
Yeah.
getting everything out. And then my two favorite characters are Maeve and Sam. I'm going to be heartbroken if either one of them does not get a happy ending or perishes. I'm just so attached to these two, and the whole teaching him how to swim and floating like a
Oh,
starfish scene was
it was
just
beautiful. Yeah.
so touching. And like, I feel like these two kids belong together in some way, you know? Like
Yeah.
she could take care of him. She needs a life, but I feel like he's probably been in the best hands with her than he's ever been in his life, which is very sad.
Yeah. That's totally true. Yeah, that was really heartwarming. And I think that Maeve, played by Amelia Jones, is getting a ton of critical and audience attention. People are like focusing really more on her when they talk about and write about this show and when I
Hmm.
like read recaps and stuff. And I think that's totally deserved because just her, I mean, with what happened last episode with her trying to give him back or, the whole shenanigans that went down, failed plot. Yeah, just awesome. Solo, what did you think about this episode?
Oh, I'm in deep, as Genesis once said, or maybe in too deep. Uh, but we'll leave it at there. We're not going to go Axel 70s show. Um, but yeah, no, this show completely, like, just when I think, okay, what are they going to do next? How are they're doing it the right way. And like what Gina was saying, they're letting the characters, like, I know everyone seems to get a monologue, like Freddie got one this week, which blew me away, but they're allowing these actors to, they're not just secondary characters. We're really getting into everyone. And
Yeah.
I'm glad we got a lot of the answers now. I know there's only what, 6 episodes or 7 episodes?
Seven.
Seven.
Yeah, seven
But
episodes. Weird
because
number.
I am constantly on the edge of my seat. What's going to happen to these characters? What's going to happen? And like you said, with Maeve and Ben, do I call him Ben again? Sam. I keep calling
That's
him by
okay.
his actor's name. Um, I enjoy what's going on and what Maeve is really, it's like she has her own son in a way, like taking care of him. But I'm just like, they're out in the open. I'm like, I know they're in a secluded like creek in outside of Philly, but I'm like, what if someone spots them? I'm like, I'm just so concerned what's going to happen if someone notices the kid with her.
Yeah.
Like like what's going to
Oh,
happen? So, and I'm really invested now in the whole task. It was good to see um a lot of our characters like Aaliyah and more of Stover. that we're getting to learn more and there's more for them to do. And now, of course, the big thing we'll talk about later, who could be the mole? And we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to discuss that
Two
later.
moles. We were
Well,
right.
Yes.
yes,
That's the thing.
yes.
There was two. We picked it out that there's two moles. So we know
Two
who
moles
one
don't make a
mole.
right. Yeah.
That's two. They will make a hole in your front yard,
Yeah.
though. Maybe a couple more than one because there's two of them.
Yeah.
But yes, awesome stuff. This show is really delivering. And just from the first scene, I like that we start in the car um, with Robbie and Maeve, and he just is talking outright that yeah, they have been robbing the Dark Hearts stash houses, or whatever they call them, flop houses. What's another word for it? I guess stash house is the name for it. Purposefully, because he wants to take revenge on Jay for fucking killing his brother Billy and her father, which is something that is kind of, I just think it's kind of cool that we're like 2 episodes in and they just wait this long to give us his motivation. We see the character before we see the motivation, because I wanted to ask, if the show started out, right? Like, if the first scene of the show had been Peaches, Cliff, and Robbie standing in front of a house, and Robbie had said, "These motherfuckers killed my brother Billy. If Jason's here, he's mine." And then they robbed, wouldn't it be a totally different show for you?
Totally. It would be like The Night Agent or something. I mean, but like one of those lesser shows
Yeah,
where
that's
like that we
exactly. It would
like,
feel
that we like,
streamy. Yes,
but
it
it
would
would be
feel
like
normal.
fast paced. Okay, I know what's
Yeah.
going on, revenge. The slow burn, if you want to call it, I don't know what the other term is, but the fact that we're getting invested in all that. And we talked about this too, Axel. And then Gina, I'm sure me and you love to watch our British crime shows and all kinds.
Hmm.
We I love it when they don't give us all the information, because you're asking these questions and then some people are like, this is frustrating, I don't know what's going on, but I like that it's an we're involved in the investigation and learning. And so they do it in such a way. They did it with Mayor of Easttown. I'm just all in with this show. I love the fact that I thought he was an undercover cop. uh Tom, not Tom, Tom Pelfrey, Robbie, um, like at first. And so I like, oh, oh, his brother got killed. And now we know. So it would have been a different show,
Yeah.
Axel,
And
100%.
and we also know he's looking for love. He's like, oh, it's been almost a year since she left. Maybe I should try this online dating thing, which
Right,
I'm
right.
kind of hoping develops into something, but this is moving very fast, so maybe not.
Yeah. Well, maybe if he had found someone in an online dating, he wouldn't have had to have this revenge against his brother's killer. He would have just been like, "Hey, maybe my brother shouldn't have been in this violent gang, and I'm just gonna go date someone on Tinder or whatever it's called."
Yeah, no, Axel, that won't happen. That wouldn't go.
That would have been a much boring show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would have been 90 Day Fiance.
Oh boy.
Um,
Yeah.
but you had to feel for Maeve, because she is trying. I mean, she basically says to him, none of this is going to bring my brother back. Now your kids are just going to be like me without a dad. And
Right.
plus, I'm going to have to take care of him. And I have to take care of this other kid. And then he gets all violent and starts like punching the car and stuff like that. So, has your opinion changed? I think from the beginning, in a way, the show has made us have a kind of empathy for Robbie. But at this point, has your empathy run out in the way that he is kind of treating his family and Maeve? Gina, how do you feel about that?
You know, I get that he's upset over his brother dying. It sounds horrific, but it also sounds like he's been a pretty rudderless person, perhaps his whole life. Like maybe his brother was the person that gave him the most guidance, because it's hard to tell how long ago um, that Billy was killed. Sometimes it feels like it's only been 18 months. Sometimes it feels like it's been maybe 6 years. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
that's hard
Yeah.
to discern, but I just feel like he's kind of a just like a piece of crap. Like, he lost his house. He moved into Maeve's house after his brother died. He still calls it his brother's house. She owns
Yeah.
it now. She's taking care of his kids. We don't know what caused his wife to just get out of Dodge a year ago. She was over it. He barely pays attention to his kids. He brought home this other kid. And he's so fixated now on getting this money, getting this deal done, it's just not going well. Like they're going to find out who he is in the next episode, I'm sure, because they've found out about Uncle Trash. So it's just, the mystery is not going to be them finding out who did it. There's going to be something more to this, but he's kind of like he is like a trash truck careening down a hill with no brakes, and it's going to crash into a tree, and garbage is going to be everywhere. Like, that's just kind of how I feel about him.
Damn.
Yeah,
Gina laying
sorry.
it
That might be
down.
a little harsh, but
No,
yeah.
I tend, there's a part of me that agrees, though there's a part of me that does have some sort of empathy for him just in these circumstances, grown up in Delco, whatever he was surrounded by. I don't yet know so many of the details. I was Googling, trying to find out, look at my notes. Did it say how long ago Billy? It just says many years ago Billy died. So we don't know. But from the photos and from the life that they were involved in, and from the conversations that we see with the woman that was Billy's
Aaron,
girlfriend, Erin
Aaron,
is
played by
okay.
Margarita. Can never pronounce her last name, but I love her and everything she does.
Laviva,
Laviva,
Lavieva. Okay,
Laviva.
so she's mole number one. She's the first mole.
Yeah.
The conversation they had let me lended me to believe like I was having a conversation with my wife. We see it's her. She says our plan is going to work. Perry is going to replace Jay, right? The guy who killed his brother, Perry being the leader. And then he says, I don't give a fuck about any of that. How do we sell this drugs? I got to take care of my family. This thing has come off the rails. And Cliff is like, yeah, I had to kill people. That's why he's so mad. Like he got pulled into it. But did it seem to you all that there was a separate plan to maybe like kind of maybe take over the club or make things right inside the motorcycle club by getting Jay out? I don't know. She seemed a little bit more attached to some overall plan of the club. So it made me believe that that was a big part of their life, like their whole life. Like maybe even their parents were in it.
Well, I think so. We know like they started the plan 18 months ago. So that's the least time when Billy's death. He was probably dead before then. So maybe
It's
it's
a
a
long
couple of
time.
years or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So this plan's been in place. It seems like, of course, she wants revenge as well, but wants to take down Jason in the club,
Hmm.
but maybe rebuild it back up, possibly, or just destroy it, and get out of the life. We don't really know. We
Yeah, I
know she
guess you're
was in
right.
love with him. We don't quite know her. We know some of her motivation, what they did to Billy, the man she loved, but now what is her but the thing is you just mentioned where Robbie's like, I gotta sell this stuff, gotta sell this stuff,
Yeah.
but yet he wants revenge. What is he? I mean, that's just his mind. That's how he's thinking. I mean, think about it. All the decisions he's making, some are okay, if they stuck to the plan and did it a certain way, great. But he's even like, I didn't know there was a kid gonna, you didn't tell me there was a kid gonna be there and all this stuff. And she kind of like, well, and so I was a little
Yeah.
confused, like, was
You
that on
break into a
purpose?
house, there might be a
Yeah.
kid in the house, there
But
might
of
be a
course,
dog too. There might be someone shitting. You never know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So,
and and now he's not even really interested in sticking around to see if Jason gets what he deserves. He's talking about going to Canada, and I never
That's
once heard him
true. You're right.
talk about his kids in that plan. So, I that's one of the reasons I'm like, he's just, he's out of sorts. He's
Yeah.
definitely juggling a
Right.
lot, and I don't think he's been thinking straight for a very long time.
And what the fuck is
Great
he
point.
going to do with Sam? The only time it's mentioned in the episode is when they're taught. She asks, "What are we going to do?" And he says, "We got to just get rid of the drugs first. Then we'll give me a few days on that." Right? Like,
Mhm.
it seems like he does have a plan. Gina, when he took Sam at the end of episode 1, did you think he was kidnapping him, saving him? What was kind of your feelings when that happened?
At first I didn't know. I mean, because they carried him out, it wasn't even clear if Sam was alive at that point at the end of the episode. They were just carrying out his body. So I thought they'd actually killed him and were
Oh,
going to go
damn.
bury him. Well, yeah, because he's wrapped up in a blanket and you don't see him moving.
Yeah, yeah. I just figured he was asleep.
I just
You went
thought,
dark.
well, I mean, he was awake when he's like, "You guys are my dad's friends, right?" And then he's like just in a blanket. It
That's
doesn't
true.
lead you to believe it's not like they walked him out. Um,
Holding hands.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think Maeve is,
There's
I
got
don't
to be a
know.
plan.
There's not a plan though. That's the
No, there's
problem.
not a plan. I think he thinks he has a plan. Like, he's going to use the kid to maybe, I don't know, make some deal with the gang or something. Or there's
Mm,
still this question. There were some hints in this episode. I want to lay this down at you,
okay.
folks. There were some hints when they visited, when Perry and Robbie visited. I believe that they Colombian or Ecuadorian, or there was the gang guy that they visited who told the story about getting
Freddie.
pissed on.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
Freddie.
Freddie,
Yeah.
Freddie,
I think it's Colombian. I know they
Colombian.
mentioned
Okay,
Colombian. They were
yeah.
going through the other outfits, but I can't remember if he was Colombian or not.
He talks about the daughter getting married and, blah, blah,
Hmm.
blah.
Yeah.
And he says, "Good thing I don't have any kids." Do you think that that kid is Perry's kid? Because remember, he got so upset about the kid with Jay. He was like, "They took a fucking kid." Do you think that could be Perry's kid?
I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because I think he probably gets his pick of whoever in that group. But
As the bartender
if
is
if
not too
that's
fond
if
of, yeah.
that's the reason that Billy, I mean, I don't know all their club rules, but if Billy got beaten to death because he was sleeping with Jason's wife, then, unless Perry gets free reign over all the women and that's it, then it wouldn't be okay. But, I don't know how, looking at poor Sam's parents, I couldn't really see Perry being that into Sam's mom, honestly.
Well,
I don't
it's
know.
lonely out
Maybe.
there on the trail.
On the trail,
Maybe.
riding through this world alone.
I
Yeah,
think
I don't
Perry's the only
know.
one that does care about
Just a
that kid,
theory. It's
though.
out
Like
there. I
as a
just wanted to
Yeah,
bargaining
ask you.
yeah.
chip.
I
I,
think more this week. Last week I was open to it. This week I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
just a
not.
thought.
I think it might be too much, too
Yeah.
complicated. But I think he just maybe really cares about kids.
Um, when when we're finding out, I should say, here, let's continue on talking about Robbie and Cliff. When I guess we should roll it back a little bit. Solo, Solo, we talked about the one mole, Aaron. We
Mhm.
have another mole. Last week we talked about who we think it might be. Do you have any thoughts about who you think the other mole might be, Gina?
Gina's not the mole. You kind of sway the said that sentence. The other mole is Gina, or whatever you
Could
said.
be.
Is Gina the mole?
So I'm kind of focused on it potentially being because now Tom Brandis knows he's got a mole.
Right.
I think that does rule him out, even though he's kind of an unstable character right now. He's unstable. Robbie's unstable. Definitely the mirroring stuff you talked about is at work there. I think I there's no way I think it's Aaliyah. I just don't. I think she's too much of a straight arrow. Plus, they don't like brown people in these motorcycle clubs, is the message we've been getting loud and
Yeah.
clear. I don't want to say that it's Stover. However, I could see this being a big um Kaiser Soze moment for her. Like, is she
Oh,
such a freaking mess? Is she acting like
yeah.
she's this big of a mess? And it's like a
Mm.
huge cover? Or is she truly a vulnerable person? That's what I'm not completely convinced
Hmm.
of right now. However,
Yes.
I think it could easily be Anthony Grasso.
Yeah.
He's pretty savvy. He made that weird speech about bad cops, good cops. Like maybe he is kind of a bad cop who's, you know, somehow involved with these motorcycle folks. Um, I don't know. I think it would be more intriguing if it ends up being Stover, though. And there was a minute when, I mean, yes, it was a piece of information, but when Aaliyah and Stover were in talking to the wife of Cliff's friend, who they arrested for breaking into Cliff's house, there was one moment she just
Right. Yeah.
raced out of the room. Stover did. It's like, who are you going to go tell what to? Girl can't keep her emails straight. Maybe she's got a lot of emails that she gets a lot of different messages from a lot of different people on. I don't know. It would be very intriguing if it ends up being her,
Yeah.
but I do think it's either her or Grasso for sure.
Okay. All right. Oh, I think we lost Solo.
Oh, completely lost
Yeah,
lost?
we completely lost. He'll come back.
Oh,
He'll come
he'll come
back.
back.
We'll get him
But
back. Come
with
back when you want, Solo.
Grasso, while why it's interesting is kind of if you go back to his whole DJ experience when he
Yeah.
was talking about reading the room, understanding the kids,
Yes.
understanding the group
Yes.
dynamics, that makes him a very, like a top pick for this. Oh, he's texting right now. He's like,
Yeah.
sorry, all. Um,
We have our own mysteries on the
I know.
podcast. No, I like everything you
Yeah.
say. I hadn't thought about and you know what? It's funny because my wife said to me, she was like, "Isn't she being like last couple episodes? She seemed a little bit more like." At least she had some like fire in her or something. She's yelling on the phone. She's going to ask the neighbors questions, you know? Now she's kind of like playing back a little bit. Like maybe she seems to be acting like this isn't
Yeah.
not everything is what it seems to be. And even the interaction she had when her and Grasso went out for drinks and the other detectives come up behind her and are kind of razzing her.
Yeah.
But we're not quite certain what they're razzing her about. They say
Right.
something to him like, you can keep her, or something like that. But it's just this veiled kind of,
Yeah.
she doesn't really fit in type of thing where it seems strange because the only reason she's on the task force is because she's from that area.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if she doesn't fit in with those cops, is that a hint that she fits in with the criminals? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Just
Well,
a
and
thought.
and there
I
are
like that.
organizations that will specifically kind of shield certain people from being well-known faces in a group to the
Yeah.
outside world and be like, yeah, we're going to set you up. You're going to go be a cop. You're going to be our plant. You're going to be from our inside.
That's what happened to Matt Damon. It's with Jack Nicholson.
I mean, it's not unheard
Wasn't it
of. I
Matt
mean,
Damon or was it Matt? I don't
I think
remember.
I don't remember which one it was, but I know the movie you're talking about. But it's even the same kind of like, I mean, not that Tony Soprano told Meadow Soprano you should go be a lawyer.
Oh
She
yeah.
was like, I'm going to go be
Oh
a
my
lawyer,
God. Holy
i.e.,
cow.
so I can help
Like
daddy.
Gia, like Gia on
Yeah.
Housewives,
Although
Teresa.
she's
Yeah,
dropped her
she
law
has. Yeah.
ambitions.
Instagram came calling and she
She
was like,
she's not going to work on getting dad back in the country after all.
she didn't even give a shit about being in Next Gen NYC. She was hardly in it. She was like, it's okay, I'm good. I'm making money
Yeah.
off Instagram. But back to task. That's a good point. I like that. I think the thing with her and Grasso at the bar gave us kind of hints about both of them. Now
Yeah.
he is the organized crime guy. That's his thing, right? That's the
Right.
unit he's from.
Yeah.
So he does have connections
Yeah.
not only with the Dark Hearts, but with other groups. So it could be that he's somehow feeding them information because it's a part of a wider thing
That's
that
true.
he's involved with. It might even be legal, right? Like he might
Right.
have informants that he's working with that he doesn't tell the task force about
Yeah.
because it's in another department or something like that, right? Like it's a
Yeah.
state. So that's an idea as well. I just think that's kind of intriguing. To me, I like the way they quickly rolled out this mole. So I think that we're going to quickly find out who the internal mole is. And I think it's more fun that way, actually.
And the fact that he has all these other connections, now that makes me almost think it's Stover more because if she's been worked from, if she has been a plant from this biker group, she would know about him. She would potentially
You're
know about
right.
him already.
You're
And
right. And she's trying to play him.
she's kind of cozying up to him. She
She
asked him for the
is.
drink,
Great point, Gina.
you know?
You're right. Maybe she is, maybe that's why. Oh, that follows along with remember when Jay and Perry, which first gave away that there was a mole in the FBI or the task force, is when Jay said, yeah, don't worry about this guy. When they were
Mm-hmm.
talking,
Yeah.
okay, Heath Solo is back. Um, Basically, when they were talking about the task force, in I think it was what, the second episode, that gave us the hint that there was the mole. Maybe what he means is we're seeing the follow through, which is that she took. We're proposing that it was that the mole Solo might in fact be our female detective.
Martha
Um,
Plimpton.
no,
Oh,
Elizabeth
that's the boss.
Stover.
Yeah,
That
because
Stover might be, and that's the follow through when he said to Perry, "Oh, it's okay, we got it covered." It's that she's in there working
Yeah.
Grasso and working everybody.
You
you
missed my
know,
whole theory about her,
well, no,
unfortunately.
I did
But
catch
but
the
weigh in,
Kaiser
yeah.
Sose. I did
Okay,
catch the Kaiser Sose. So
okay.
of course I'm talking to my landlord. Sorry about that. Where for some reason it's mail issues. Anyway, um,
Everything's okay. More post office stuff,
post
Solo.
office, dude.
It
Anyway,
never ends.
so I was thinking about this last night after watching the episode, and I'm like, Grasso Nova seems to be the one that is got to be. He's a guy, MC. All
That's
right.
the critic's choice. Yeah.
Right. And then I'm thinking Stover, she's too much of a mess for her to be the one. But I'm with Gina now. She is Kaiser Sose. She's playing everyone.
Yeah,
She's
I like it.
her past. Remember, she talks about a past boyfriend or something. What if that past boyfriend's part of the MC?
Hmm.
She's linked. Do
Oh,
da da da
Jax
do do
gets
do.
around.
I
Could have
mean,
been Jax,
she
could have been
froze.
Albie.
But and even the cops making fun of her, and then Grasso coming to defense, giving her, the shot and the hey, you're great. It almost seems like we're trying to get on the side of her that she's a mess, but she's just acting like this because
Yeah.
the way she froze when Ruffalo got thrown down the stairs and even chasing after the guy, I don't know. I feel something's not right with her, as we know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it flipped and she was smarter than she lets on, and that she is the mole.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
love
I
that.
wouldn't be either. Well, all right, let's talk basically about what we see Robbie and Cliff get into, which a lot of this episode picks up about what they're going to do with all the fentanyl, right? How they're going to sell it and how everyone involved is kind of covering those bases. And it's really the investigation widening out. Um, I guess uh, if we start with when let's see, I don't know, Solo, Gina, anyone have anywhere they want to start?
I
We've been talking about so much stuff. I don't know. I'll let someone else take
I
it
like to
over.
go to Mickey and Ray,
Okay, let's do
our
it. Yes.
fantastic duo.
Yes,
Now
that's exactly a good point. There you go.
Ray, former convict, did knows Cliff, and sounds like Ray Liotta, looks like Oscar Isaac, who got beat up. That's what he
He
is.
is what a
He's
face on
awesome.
this motherfucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Wow.
was great. And then of course Mickey, that actress, she was on that show on Snowpiercer. She was really good
Oh,
on Snowpiercer. That's where I knew
okay.
her from. Uh, so I mean, it was a smaller part, but uh, the two of them screwing them over. Like at first, I'm like, who the heck's got ski masks? Do they put their ski masks on and then go rob a house? Are they getting ready? Like I didn't realize it was them. And then it makes total sense that he's trying to get it for himself. Um, you just anytime you tell other people what's going on, you're screwed. I know they're trying to move the drugs. The last thing you do is go to a convict. But granted, who are you going to go? You're not going to go to your next door neighbor who is a
Yeah.
pharmacist to try to move this stuff. But it's just like, I'm just like, this isn't going to work out. And then sure enough, they tried to rip him off. But this Ray guy, I mean, I know when Tom is like, I'll take conspiracy off the table, and he's like, all right, and he's like, well, I didn't say you were assaulting a federal officer. I didn't take that off the table. Just and he's all pissed off. Just some great characters. I mean, this actor, uh, Peter, he's a Greek American. He's from outside of Philly, so I don't know if he's probably a New York actor or whatever. But what a find with this Yahoo! He's
Yeah.
great. He's great.
He was awesome. Gina, any thoughts on our wily couple?
So when there were two people that broke into Cliff's house at first, I thought they had sent their two sons to break in.
That's what my wife thought too.
I
She
don't
thought
know
it was
Oh,
why,
the
because
two
I think
sons.
they looked so small, but I mean they're small. I guess the husband and wife are small people, but I
yeah.
thought they looked even smaller. So I was just like, oh my God, they sent their sons to rip off the drugs. But yeah, and then the monologue that Aaliyah had when she was in trying to convince Mickey to spill, I was just like, oh, this is heavy. And, then you kind
Yeah.
of wonder, like, I really don't think Aaliyah is the mole, but if that was not a true story, then she is also just like a great actress and could do deep cover work for FBI easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Stover was so shocked at what she was hearing when she
Yeah,
was with her. And I was thinking the same thing, Gina. I'm like, first of all, is this real or not, this
yeah,
story?
yeah,
And then, but because that, you're right, that really can change the focus on what we believe about her but then Stover coming in and like ruining the momentum. You know how she just stumbles in?
yeah,
That's the point too where I'm like, okay,
Oh,
she
yeah.
can't be completely this dense.
yeah.
It just seems like because she threw that whole thing off. It's like, oh, I got like these things, these chips, and they're mixed with this, and they're really good. I'm like, really? It just like
Yeah. Yeah.
it pissed me off. Actually, I got annoyed.
It's suspicious.
It's
It's suspicious.
suspicious.
This whole show is awesome. All the characters. Um, I like the way I like the way the plot moved too. Even
Yeah.
though we're getting they're kind of churning through the plot, right? Like we find out that Aaron is the mole. As a result, the guys also find out they can't sell the drugs to Freddie, who they thought they were going to sell the drugs to, which leads them to Ray, which leads Ray to robbing, which leads the task force to walking into the robbery, which leads to the interrogation and
Them
all this
knowing
other
about
stuff.
Cliff.
Right? And then no, well, they find out about Cliff when they go to the out to the garbage. Which remember we
Right.
were
Right.
wondering if they really work as garbage people, and they actually do work as
Yeah.
garbage people. And I love the way Aaliyah too, just when the guy was like, "Hey, anybody got any tits?" Also, it was just like the most Philly kind of thing to say. Like if I walked into somewhere in Philadelphia, I would just expect someone to say the most garbagey thing. Sorry, that's just my hate, that my Philly hate coming through. But it's like lighting seats on fire. But they did that in Giant Stadium too. But it was just so fun. She stepped right up to him. But that is how they got that information. When they said his name, my heart sank because I kind of want them to get away with it or figure
Yeah.
something out in some way or, like it work
Yeah.
out well. But now I was like, oh, they're fucked, you know? And the whole thing of it really not leading to much through oh no, well, I guess it does lead they get the lead through Peaches later, but earlier we never saw what happened to Peaches. Was it his wife and her dad?
Fiance and
Yeah, his
dad. I know.
yeah, the fiance and dad. We never, because that seemed not to lead anywhere. But then it goes so fast this other direction that we don't even remember that that happened.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't remember.
Yeah,
So
see?
Yeah.
did
The
anyone
second
ever mention them getting killed or
No,
beat to
we have
hell?
no
But
idea.
then
They never were
again,
mentioned.
I feel like this is the next day or two, so
Yeah,
the bodies probably haven't started
they
smelling
probably
yet,
didn't find him.
and they
That's
might find in
true.
the next episode. Like that's what it's happening so fast because I think it's Wednesday. No, it's not even Wednesday yet because Wednesday is going to be the sentencing
Ah,
for
yes.
the
Yeah,
kid.
for the son.
And then Thursday is supposed to be the father-daughter dance. I don't know if we're like at Monday or Tuesday
Oh,
right
I thought
now.
we passed the night. I thought he's
I don't think we're there yet.
No, we're not. We're not. I forgot about that
But it's
too.
like
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to like figure out the timing. I'm like, where are we
Don't
in
you
this time
feel
zone?
don't you feel like that father-daughter dance, if he does go, that's where
Something's gonna go
Robbie's
Oh
down.
gonna go down.
God.
Well,
Oh
Yeah.
my
and
God.
also we've got a Casanova DJ that
Oh
does junior high
jeez.
dances.
No,
I
it gets
mean, it's like
canceled, so
weird
he
things are
gives.
coming together.
That's what happens is he's in protective custody at that point, and so they Grasso DJs the father-daughter dance at the safe house.
Maybe
At the safe
at the
house.
safe
That's
house.
Invitation only, baby.
The junior high. Oh my
it's a
gosh.
yeah, it's a
Yeeks.
anyway, we should talk we should I just thought that that was just to kind because I got a little caught in my head before when I threw it over to y'all because I was kind of trying to get that plot together. But when you talk it out, it's kind of simple, but it moved so fast
Right, right.
that I just love that all the other stuff really didn't go anywhere, but this is like we got a tip and she's running out and they're getting their everything's working out. But we should talk about on the emotional side, um, we still have Tom's family, and we see more of his daughter Sarah, their interaction, them talking on the porch, Emily overhearing him that he can't forgive, their son Ethan. We get to see Emily meeting with Ethan, and even a flashback. I thought I was in Seattle. I was looking for Joel
Or
Kinnaman to come around the
who
corner.
killed Rosie Larson or
Yeah,
something?
it's like it's what's going on? It's
And Brandon
Marielle
Sexton
Ennis.
the third or whatever his name is.
But I just wanted to say that I was trying to find the actor's name, of course, to give them credit. But the person who played the son, who played Ethan, was
Mm.
such good casting. Oh my God. That was like perfect casting because he just had this way about him where you could sense something was off. He wasn't right. He was great acting. And just the way he held his body kudos to that actor for making me instantly believe that this person was mentally ill and remorseful and was just not even there. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
it
It
had
seems
taken
so
that.
simple, Axel, but there was a
Yeah.
lot of layers there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Great
it was
stuff.
really, I mean,
Whew.
that's the great thing. This casting of this show, I mean, they're finding the right actors. I
Yeah.
mean, I could just imagine that casting room when they're like, we're gonna book this person, book, and they're putting the cast together. It's just like, oh man, they
I
hit a
bet a
home
lot of
run.
them are local too, you see, and
Yeah,
just great faces, really great
yeah.
faces.
Well, you gotta also, it's Philly, outside of Philly, it's Pennsylvania. You can't have like just beautiful people all around. I'm not saying there's not
What are you
beautiful
saying?
people
There's
in
not
Philly,
beautiful people outside of Philly, Solo?
but if it's a Hollywood Philly
Okay,
movie, you're gonna
Cowboys
put,
fan.
uh,
We know, around the couch fans know Solo is
yes.
a Cowboys
But
fan.
no, you make it real. The Wire did this
Yes, of
too.
course.
Like
Definitely.
Jimmy
Yep.
McNulty's having an affair, but it's with a normal looking woman, not
Yeah,
this
it's not a
bombshell
model.
that happens to be, yeah, a 10 in any state. It's like it's nice seeing real people. Let's just put it that way.
Yep.
I'm
They
all
got to
for that.
cast
It
you
makes
on
it
this
more
show.
real.
You're a real person.
I'm a fake. I'm so fake. But no, it just goes to the realism of
You
what,
could be Jimmy, the cousin.
Jimmy the cousin. Jimmy the cousin.
Cousin
I'll
Jimmy.
be I'll be Ray's brother. Um but no, but that's the realism of it because you feel like, I mean, you're not once feeling like this is like a Hollywood production. I love Hollywood, don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean. It's not, you know,
What were
Models
your
Inc.
thoughts on this, Gina, on this family
So,
dynamics?
I mean, I really hate the natural born daughter. I think she's just horrible. I mean, of course, everyone's upset about what happened, but this kid was your brother too.
Yeah.
She seems overly bitter, but maybe she weighed in on the conversation a lot over the years and never felt like she was heard, and this is where things ended up.
Yeah. It goes back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's, but then you feel for the sister that's left too, um and Emily is right. Her brother is not going to get the help he needs in prison. He probably needs to be institutionalized. But then yeah, that's a big burden for someone to handle, and it would probably end up falling on Mr. Ruffalo eventually. So,
Yeah.
the dad, Tom Brandis. So yeah, I mean, it's a rough situation for sure. Um, yeah.
I
Uh,
feel bad for Emily because she's
yeah.
caught between
Yeah,
both. She's close with her
definitely.
dad.
She's a
Of
kid,
course, they were close with, we found out today that the biological sister, they were close, right?
Yeah.
She mentions
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it wasn't like she was always jealous of them getting more attention. They seemed to be very close and things were going well. And, but it's now with, you see a little flashback and you're like, oh man, they did seem very happy. That day when they come and they're, what do I say? What do I say? And,
No.
Ruffalo's clean shaven. And I just felt like this is such a good moment for the family having, a brother and sister coming in together into a home. And I'm sure there was a lot of love and stuff. And then unfortunately, mental illness,
Yeah.
it's something that I'm so happy nowadays it's more acknowledged. Like before it was like, have some whiskey, you're fine, go to bed. Now it's like, I mean, it's something that's serious and it's tough.
I was just gonna say stay away from Tylenol.
A,
Yeah, stay away from time.
a glimpse into
Sorry.
Solo's childhood.
Yeah, some whiskey,
Have
solo.
some whiskey and go to
Have
bed.
some whiskey and go to bed.
Um,
But no, it just
my
it
grandmother
breaks
used to
my
give me
heart.
Irish whiskey when I was a little kid on a little thimble. Like, yeah, you suck it.
Oh,
She'd dip it in like whiskey. They used to sell these like little,
Oh, for
look it up.
teething children?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
oh
And you're
yeah.
supposed to
Yeah.
put stuff on it, and she'd put whiskey on it. And
How fitting the Irish
suck
use
it.
it for whiskey.
It's probably
The
exactly.
teething.
That's probably I can't.
Yeah.
Took me alcohol. Anyway, this is tough stuff, and
Yeah.
the show deals with it amazingly. And the mirror of Tom being pushed down the steps by obviously
Oh, Jesus,
mentally
I didn't
Yeah.
even think of
ill,
that.
drug problems, like many time incarcerated guy in
Yeah.
front of a young girl who
Right.
can't do anything, who's
Yeah.
afraid. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
It says there's a lot of ways to look
It's
at
a
that. And
mirror
it was
image that
pretty
yeah.
shocking when that
Yeah.
happened. Like, honestly, as soon as I saw those stairs,
Is that the
I
same
said,
stairs?
he's getting thrown down those stairs. And then when he sees his wife at the top of the
Yeah.
stairs and the flashback with her too, showing how, which brings also back in their priest friend, right? And
Yeah.
reminds us of his, because they didn't talk a lot. You know, it's interesting that this show was advertised. A lot of the critic stuff and the writing about it was like, this show delves into faith and what it means. There hasn't been
Well,
a ton of that
oh,
so
Axel,
far.
he's having a crisis of faith. He can't
No,
forgive his son. I mean, it's
well, I know
all
that
there.
that it is, but I mean they're not talking about it as
Right.
much as it's the
Not
subtext.
really.
You're
Yeah.
totally right.
Yeah.
It's totally there, but they're not in in the episode he did talk about it a lot. I think it was the second, maybe it was the first episode that when he was talking with his priest friend a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
and they kind of mentioned it. This episode didn't have as much direct about it. But you're totally right. It is a crisis of faith of
Yeah.
whether he can forgive the son and all that. And as we had talked about last episode, maybe that's going to be when he realizes who Robbie is and why he's doing it, you
Yeah.
know?
Maybe there's, because of the religious context of him being a priest, there was an exchange in the first episode between Cliff and Robbie, where Robbie's like, "You're a monk," and Cliff's like, "No, I'm not. I can't be a monk. I don't pray." Which was interesting. And then it almost makes you wonder, will we see someone then, because of whatever the fallout is, decide to take that path towards priesthood? Or will, Tom decide to go back to that? So I think that there's an interesting, we're only 3 episodes in, but I think there's something else there that we haven't quite got to yet. If the critics are
Yeah.
saying, faith, whatever, there's probably more to come. There's going to be some other kind of
Yes. Good point.
revelation.
Have you
Good point.
guys ever been so concentrated on a cup in a show or a movie? That Phillies cup where
Oh,
the vodka's going in there. That cup is its own character.
Yeah.
It's just like
that's true.
Yeah.
That
it's
is.
crazy, but you're right because when they explain, oh, Dad thinks he has iced tea in there, but I know what's really in there, and he just goes for that cup when he gets home, and it's just like, oh man,
Well,
you know what?
oh, I'm sorry. So
No,
okay.
real quick with the fall down the stairs, the way it was dark, I thought it was. I didn't think that was Ruffalo falling down the stairs. I thought it was the
Oh.
bad guy, but then I put it
Yeah.
together, of course.
Yeah, and the not
But
accepting, the not go, like just the tough guy. It shows like a willfulness of ignorance and of avoidance. Like he is all about avoidance
yeah,
in the and but again, you can't blame him because for Christ's sake, his son killed his wife. You know
that's
what I'm saying?
hard.
Like I
That's
put
so hard.
myself in that situation and I think about that myself. Like my son's 13. Say, I don't even want to go through the scenario, but
Yeah,
how could you recover from that? You know what I'm saying? And to me, see, that's the thing too. Like you said, Gina, about his daughter. I guess having been my stepfather was really like my father. And to his children, I was, in many ways, I'm sure, an interloper. I never had any
Mm,
problems with them, but I'm sure I was. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
right.
And just like I have a half brother from my father and my stepmother. So our relationship's different than the one
Mm,
between my brother and sister that are from the same. So
yeah.
to me, adopted, step, whatever, it's the same thing. They're a part of the family. That is their mother and father.
Yeah.
So for the sister, it just the dynamics, the way they've written her. And it was also funny that on the phone when she's texting her husband, he's like, "And can we talk about us now?" I thought that was so funny. I was like, this show can't help but being deep. Like they're building up this character of her husband. They don't even need to. I'm like,
Yeah.
calm
Right.
down with being so good, show. You don't need to make us now know about the husband and have theories about him. You know what I'm saying? Like he took the guy who took the kid's drugs away. You know what I'm saying? Like it was Robbie did it. You know, he was I don't know. Anyway, it's amazing stuff that they're getting down to with this show, and all the scenes are fantastic. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say the name of the episode again is "Nobody's Stronger Than Forgiveness." And I think that that is essential to the show, right? Like
Yeah.
forgiveness or vengeance. And Tom is trying to find forgiveness as much as he can. And he has Emily kind of helping him, right? And maybe Sarah is the good and the bad angels. Is she's
Mm.
saying, no, don't do it. And then you have Robbie, who's kind of like has Maeve kind of helping him. Don't do this, right? And then he has Cliff, who's like, sell the fucking drugs and get the money. Fuck this shit, right? Like, you know, and so it's like they both have it going on. The show is really awesome. Did we miss anything to talk about, or
I
I don't
just
know?
have
Go
a
solo.
shout out. And we forgot last week that they played a little Pearl Jam in the last episode, a little I Got
Yes.
ID or I Got ID, as some people call it. But this week, probably one of my all-time favorite songs was played in the bar. Chloe Dancer, Crown of Thorns by Mother Love Bone. So I just want to
Oh,
give a little shout out to some
yeah.
90s grunge they're throwing
Yeah,
in there.
baby. Wait,
Yeah,
what was that
Philly.
guy's name? Andrew Wood? Or
Andy Wood. Yeah.
yeah, see?
Hmm.
But yeah.
Singles. Was that on the
So
Singles soundtrack?
yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Oh.
Because I was wrong on another podcast. I thought that it was Pearl Jam. They played from that Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan or something, but it
Yeah, no, we
turns
were
out,
texting about that.
yeah. Oh,
Oh,
Hey,
he's
I'm
back.
back.
Hey, that
we're like, not again.
was
Not
quick.
again. That
That's
was yeah, it
quick.
was a quick little yeah. So
I
yeah,
guess the
no, it was
landlord
from
got your mail.
their session. Pearl Jam did played on a Mirror Ball, the Neil Young album in the
Yeah,
90s, and then they did a couple of singles from that
yeah,
session. So
yeah. Um, we should just give a shout out because whenever Martha Plimpton pops up, it's just fun. And I like that they kind of put her in the show really quick. I don't know of what
oh,
Yeah.
significance it is, but she's
I
awesome.
love
she's a
her.
Goonie.
And
Yeah.
speaking of casting, this is the second time recently in as many years that she's been cast as kind of like this um aging agent, so to speak. She was in this show. Is it called Prime? Um, I don't
I
know, but
think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, she plays like a
She's good at it.
yeah,
She's good at being tough. She
she's
was
great.
Yeah,
tough in the Goonies.
Yeah, yeah,
Beautiful Girl. She's great in Beautiful Girls. One of my
She's
favorites.
always tough.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
She's
she has a
great.
great monologue in that movie,
Yeah,
doesn't she, Solo?
that's a great freaking
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Underrated
way
film.
back in the day.
She's really
Facts,
good.
baby.
But I
Oh,
knew I was gonna like this show from the minute they put Ruffalo in a sunbonnet and working in his tomato garden. I was
Yeah,
like,
we got to get him back in the
this
garden.
is like a very strange fantasy come true for me.
Yeah.
oh,
Um,
should we talk? We didn't really talk about Freddie's monologue and
Thank you.
Oh,
the
That's what
yeah.
I was
MC,
gonna
the
look. I was
MC
looking through my
coming.
And it looks
notes.
like
Yeah.
that's this actor's only episode. It just has him down
Oh,
for one episode in the series, which really bums me out. So I'm
Uh,
glad he got a good monologue. But yeah,
worth it.
I
yeah,
mean, it was like, I mean, I'm like, where's he going with this? And I'm like, holy crap! I
yeah,
mean, getting beat to hell, and then of course the worst thing,
Getting
yeah.
pissed
getting
on.
peed on.
Yeah.
But
And
like,
it's like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, I was gonna say you got these two tough biker guys. I mean, we know Freddie's connected and stuff, but we didn't really see like his guys. We saw like a younger guy watching so you're like, okay, I thought at first it was just a family friend, or a friend of the MC. And then when they sit down and you got you got Perry and Jason there, tough dudes, and he doesn't back down and he insults them and
And
I mean,
shames them.
and shames them, yes. And it's like, wow, this guy definitely has some power, some balls, but like I was shocked because we didn't really know Freddie, but we do now. And that dude, I wouldn't mess with that dude after what he's gone through and what he came from. Whew, I don't know, man. I think he's gonna get his 50%
Oh yeah.
that he wants.
It's interesting because that's a story of vengeance too, because
Yeah,
I kind of took that as Freddy's origin story, and that the reason why he was a big time drug dealer, whatever, bad guy, was because these motherfuckers pissed on him and beat the shit out of him when he was just minding his own business. And so he decided to take vengeance by rising up. And I thought that that was kind of interesting too. And yeah, it was worth it just to have. I looked him up. He does a lot of different work in producing and directing and like theater and stuff like that. So
yeah. You could
I
tell the
think he's probably a
foundation was there.
well-known guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that, yeah, that was a great
Mm,
monologue because I was questioning when they entered. I was like, hold on a second. They mentioned Freddie and they said, that's our enemy, right? Like we
right.
made a deal with him, like we have a truce.
Right. Right.
So now they're going to go to him and ask him to work. Like, remember last week we were like, is this really going to work? And now we see at a
Well, they
price.
had
I
to.
still
Yeah.
wonder if it will work, is the
Well,
question, right? Like,
it depends if Robbie and Cliff, because now that they know where Cliff's home, they're watching him and stuff. Will they still try to go to Freddie, even though Aaron's like, no, 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 no? Will they
yeah,
still try to go to Freddie? And
yeah, they're not going to Ray.
Would Freddie fuck over the MC? That's a
Yeah,
possibility.
that's
Maybe
what
Yeah.
I'm
he
saying.
wouldn't. I don't know. Again, when you're doing deals with your enemies because it's business and
Yeah,
you have to, there's still that. I mean, that monologue was there for a reason, folks. It wasn't
yeah,
like I forgotten.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
but
Um,
50% is 50%. So maybe he's got to look at that aspect. So we'll see.
Gina, last time you were trying to sell $1.5 million worth of fentanyl, what did you
Jenny
do?
was her real, Jenny
Oh,
really
that
helped
was
out a
Oh.
it.
lot.
Jenny had the
Jenny
hookup in
was her
Ohio.
go-to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really it's fun how the show becomes about that, and you start thinking about the different people. And they did mention other gangs, and they did mention the guy that Ray mentioned. Obviously, whatever they were trying to set up with Ray, we're going to see where it ends up if the meet happens in the next episode. We'll see. It looks like Robbie is smart enough to want to case everything out. And
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that they're going to figure out that Ray and his wife got taken and it's connected to why the cops were at Cliff's house, right? Which they don't seem to
Right.
understand right now,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know? Because they didn't seem to mention that, right? Like they didn't
No, I don't think they
connect
figure.
those
I
two
don't think
things
they
in their
did.
mind. Um, so that's going to be interesting to see how
Oh, you know what?
that'll. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say with Freddie and the MC with them meeting, how they talked about if if this doesn't work out and their suppliers, they can't meet with their demands, you're gonna have other crews trying to come in and take the
That's what
territory.
I'm saying.
So
Yeah,
that might be the one stickler of why Freddie may go along with it because he doesn't want them coming after
that's
his
true.
take. So
That's
that
true.
I forgot about that part. So I'm like, okay. Uh,
Um,
Unless
but I
you'd
was
want
gonna.
someone else to move in instead of them, but that's complex litigations.
What I was. Oh, thanks, John. What I was gonna say is the Ray might be out of it, but the person Ray mentioned, Cliff, right, knew who that person was. So
Right?
it
Can you
could be
trust
that they
him?
just cut out the middleman of Ray and go directly because he said he's still in the game.
Yeah.
Right. Do you trust him?
Do you trust? Right.
And he's
So
like, well, I don't really know him, but
so he might just say, fuck whatever happened with Ray and his wife. We got to
Yeah.
go to him directly. I just want to go back to the scene with Ray's wife and how quickly she flipped on him. And it's funny when they do the cop and robber thing and the interrogation thing, you never know how much the cops are going to let him know. but I thought it was funny the way Mark Ruffalo just walks right back in there and he's like, at 3:30 p.m. today, you sat down and had beers with these guys, right? Like,
What is it in Boston now?
no, I don't know. I'm just an
I know.
accent, but it was so specifically funny. He's kind of like, see how much your wife gave you up? Like she wants you out of the house? Because that was scary when he had her at the refrigerator.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
was good acting
I
on
mean,
both
you could
parts.
see her fear
Yeah. And
and
that had
her,
happened many times before.
yeah, you know.
Um, Gina, anything else you want to say or chat about or
I don't think
talk about?
so. I think we covered a lot of it. Um, yeah, I mainly wanted to make sure we talked about the mole, which we did at great detail. And then yeah, at one point earlier on, I thought, oh, one of these, I thought Stover was going to end up being like meant to kind of go under and hook up with Robbie. Um, but
Oh,
Hmm.
they're
maybe
gonna
she
make
already does
her.
know him. I don't know.
Oh. Oh, you think that they might try to put her
Well,
into the gang?
initially, like very early on, but I think it's just moving too fast for
And
anything
she's
like
been
that to
seen by
happen.
too many
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
about we didn't really even go over the whole meeting with Perry and Jay and Tom and Grasso. That was a great scene. I mean, we talked
Oh yeah,
about
yeah,
what the
yeah, yeah.
result of it was,
Yeah.
but that they're going to handle it on their own and all that kind of. So I
Hmm.
thought that meeting, like he just walks right in there.
Yeah.
That's why I think when we were wondering in the first episode, Solo, like, or no, I should say Jenny, why Martha Plimpton wants him back on the force, like wants him out there doing stuff, is because guess what? He's fucking effective.
Yeah.
No, he's
He's good
good
at
at
his
what he
job.
does. He's just emotionally a
Yeah.
wreck and a
Yeah.
drunk,
Yeah.
but
But he
he's good
gives
at what he
everything
does.
to it, right?
Yeah.
Like he's really good at it.
He's smart. He
Yeah.
is smart when
Yeah.
it comes to this
Yeah.
stuff. And um though that was a great scene. And it's funny because going into this week, I did see the trailer going in and they cut it where we should work together to find him. And they cut it like that. So it makes you think, oh, they're gonna work together with the MC.
Oh.
But then she's like, get the hell out of here. I'm like, see, you tricked us audience members.
Yeah. No riding through this world with the FBI.
No,
All right. Well, Solo, thank you for coming again and talking about Task with me. You're
thank you.
amazing.
Thanks for having me.
Gina, any final words? And thank you for coming and talking about Task with us.
I don't think so. I think it's a great show. And it's like, as soon as the episode ends for the week, I'm like, how come I can't binge this? Like, especially after I think the second episode where she's like, what have you done to us? I was just like, give me more, and had to wait a whole week. Whole
All
week.
right. Well, Solo, I didn't ask if you had any final words. I want to give you your
N-
opportunity. Any
No,
finals?
it's just this show, of course, is right up my alley. I mean, this is like my type of show, the ultimate type of show. But I want to binge it. I don't want it to be over. I know it's only 7 episodes. It's making me want to go back and watch Mayor of Easttown just to give me that
Mm.
that feel.
Oh,
Yeah, we
oh,
got to
and
do
you
a
mentioned there
crossover.
could potentially be a crossover
Yeah,
show at some point, is kind
yeah.
of what it was sounding. I would love to
Who
see.
said that?
We talked
Um,
about in the first episode because the writer
Oh,
and
yes.
showrunner, Brad Inglesby, said that it takes place in the same universe, in the same area,
yeah.
and that he would love to do that. He was like, I'd love to write something
Of
where it
Kate and
intersects.
Ruffalo.
Yes, I would love
Yeah.
to see that
Oh,
pairing. It'd
Now
be
I
so
then
wish,
good.
we'd
yeah,
get
I don't
Gina on
know any.
every week
Yeah.
if that
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
happened.
Definitely. I would be
Well,
in, all in.
you are welcome back every week for Task. This is open. You know, this originally started. We're like, hey, let's do Task. Task is so fun. And then everyone was like, hey, we're doing like a bunch of other podcasts and it's a busy time. And Andy has to go into the fields and
I'm
take things
Harvest.
up
here in
from
the
the ground and
field.
harvest it for all of us to eat. So you're welcome, Gina. Seriously, please come
Okay.
back. There's 4 more episodes. The last episode runs on October 19th
Wow.
is when it airs. So we got a little, about a month left of tasking it up, getting down to it, and it got some. I don't want to give away the titles that I'm looking at now, but they don't. I don't know what they're going to mean anyway.
Axel, I Love You is the next title.
That's
So,
it, Billy.
so
Go to Billy.
is her husband Axel the one on the text chain? So maybe
Oh,
maybe
we'll
that's
have
what
to
it
find out. I think he
Oh.
might show up. I think he might take a bus down there to Delco, and he might be showing up. The husband. I'm telling you.
He
You don't
might
do
take
that.
Ray out to a Flyers game, you know?
Oh, wait a second. Something's happening. All right. Great show. Gina, thank you. Heath, thank you. We'll be back. Let's see. We're going to do Around the Couch, I think, tomorrow.
Yep.
And then
When you do an
Andy
Alien
and
Earth.
I hope we can do that on Thursday. Andy and I are going to do Alien Earth. And on Friday,
Oh,
I am going to be on Little Miss Recap covering Special Forces, the reality show where all the different reality people are trained by the Special Forces guys.
I
We're
love
gonna
the
be
Special
talking
Forces
about that.
guys.
Yeah, on
They're my
Fridays.
heroes. I
We-
watched the first season and
Okay.
I actually enjoyed it. It was
Yeah.
fun.
It's fun.
Dwight Howard
And,
was a little annoying, but it was fun.
and they don't F around on that show. They have them like doing
Oh, they're
real scary
badass. I'm
stuff
like,
that
I
I would
even
be out.
I even almost bought a book of one of the guys because I was so into him. Like
Yeah.
the one guy, I think is the Spanish guy, dark hair with
Yep.
big. I'm like, I want to look like that dude.
Yeah, that's the thing is that they're from special forces all over the world. There's like a
Yeah.
British guy, is like
Right.
there's
Yeah,
like
he's
wasn't there like
great
an
too.
Israeli guy or something? I don't know. There's an American guy too. But anyway, we've talked way too much about that. Thank you everyone for listening. DVRpodcast.com. I will stop the old YouTube.